discourage the trustees from coming to the funeral service as a group. They've said that they would rather that not happen. An aside, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett will not attend at all. What do you make of this? What's your reaction when you heard that?
Look, I respect the family's wishes at this time. That is strictly their business and certainly none of mine. So whatever they want to do is great by me.
Totally agree with that. Right?
And I sit back and I want to frame this by saying no coach has ever achieved the longevity that this man achieved in his profession. The consistency of high-level performance has never, I don't think it'll ever again be matched. How can it ever? Nobody could survive that long in the environment that's been created today. And Joe Paterno was, in truth, in fact, a good human being. But was he a saint? I can't go that far. Was he all that much better than a lot of other coaches in his profession at the highest level? No, he wasn't. And I want to point out the fact today that those Board of Regents, those same people that we're talking about here who were being discouraged from coming to the funeral, stood by Joe Paterno through some tough times. 3 and 4 years ago, this was the most out-of-control football program in America. It was well documented on this network and in many publications. And it has been pointed out and reported of late that Joe Paterno asked people in power at the university to look the other way, to not judge or punish by the same standards that you would a normal student.
He would handle it internally.
He would handle it internally.
Yeah.
They stood by him. There was at one point they wanted, for his own sake, to remove him from the job, and he said no. And they said, okay, we won't remove you from the job.
He had power.
They empowered Joe Paterno. They made him the most powerful man, you could argue, in the state of Pennsylvania over time.
Okay.
And he earned that distinction.
Would you say he was the most powerful man in college football?
One of.
Yeah.
He'd be right at the top, but certainly within his bailiwick, certainly within the state college area.
Right. His influence
He
on
ruled.
campus was...
His word was the last word. And in many cases, the Board of Regents did what Jopa said to do. So let's not lose sight of the fact that they stood by him for a long, long time. And in the end, I respect their wishes, but let's keep some perspective here on a very sad day in State College.
It's important that, people understand this is not a subject that we're comfortable broaching. We were in the meeting earlier today, and we made a decision as a First Take family, make sure that, we were all in unison in discussing this. And what you point to is the one thing I want to piggyback off of, because I can't add it more perfectly than what you said, because you were right on point with everything. I completely 1,000% agree with you. There's another point. And whether it's the Board of Trustees and being asked not to come there as a unit, whether it's people that were riding on campus in the aftermath of Joe Paterno's firing, certainly on this day, particularly as you honor his memory and you honor all the things that he accomplished, the 409 career wins, the 2 national titles, the 37 bowl appearances, the hundreds of millions of dollars he generated for that university, and what have you. What people need to put into perspective is that those Board of Trustee members knew that and still made the decision to fire him. After all of these years of turning the other cheek, per se, based on what Skip Bates says.
Looking the other way.
So what I'm saying is this. What that does to me is lean me towards the biggest point in all of this. And that is the child molestation scandal involving his former defensive coordinator. Nobody has ever blamed Joe Paterno for Sandusky's actions.
Right.
What we were pointing the finger at was, sir, because of your power, because of your iconic stature, because of the fact that you were revered, because of the influence you've wielded, because you may have been the most powerful man in the state of Pennsylvania, could you not have done more? And so on this day, even as we honor his memory by and large, people have to respect that there are an abundance of people in America, not kids that don't have kids, that may not know better, but adults who do have kids, adults who do understand the magnitude of the charges that were levied against his former defensive coordinator. We are talking about child molestation. And I don't care how great you are, allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't care how great you are. Nobody comes before the welfare of a child. And Jerry Sandusky is alleged to have molested 9 children. In one instance, there was an eyewitness account of it, which Joe Paterno was made aware of. And you didn't do as much as you could do. I totally respect him, Matt Millen, Todd Blackledge, and everybody else. Profound respect for where you're coming from. But there's children we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. They come before anybody to me. Anybody. I don't care who it is. Anything. I'll put it, and I'll end it with this. You can fill the jail cells with hardcore criminals, murderers, everybody else. What do they do to somebody that's put in jail with them that harm kids? The unsafe, the people who have the most to worry about in prison ain't even murderers or serial killers, anybody like that. There's somebody who is believed to have been there for harming children, right? Jerry Sandusky is 70 plus years old. They're worried about him going to jail because of what he is alleged to have done. On this day, even on this day, we can't turn the blind eye to that. We just can't.
All right, and we'll leave it there. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll flip it to the NBA. The Knicks finally got a win